Hey everybody, back here with Zepka. We're going to be making monkey bread today, and so I'm going to go, I already washed my hands, I got my apron on, my hair's back. I'm going to show you utensils, and then I will show you all the ingredients that go in and the amounts. So don't forget to put that on your demo page, and then I'm going to go ahead and make the recipe. There'll be two videos because I have to bake it for about 12 to 15 minutes. So I will do a short little video of it coming out of the oven, and then what it looks like and how I would plate it. So just kind of be watching for that second little video that just is like the end of the monkey bread. So, okay. So the first thing, these are all utensils. So I'm going to need a knife, a wooden spoon, a plastic bag, cutting board, a bowl, and a 9x9 oval pan, square pan, whatever kind of pan you'd like to use, but about 9x9. Okay. And then the ingredients, you are going to need a biscuit mix. This one is actually a 16-ounce can, but the recipe does call for 10 ounce. So when you're making this, and what I might experience is that I might have to add a little more butter or cinnamon and sugar, but for right now, just put 10 ounce on your demo page. Okay, so biscuits. I'm gonna need butter, sugar, and I'm gonna need cinnamon. Okay, so we're gonna measure these out. So as I go through, just try to pay attention to the measurements that I'm gonna use. Oh, I forgot one thing. I also need a saucepan, okay, because I'm going to have to heat this up. You could heat it in the microwave. Just be really careful you put something over the top because butter tends to splatter, and then it'll get all over your microwave. So just remember that. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to start with the biscuits. Okay, so I have the biscuits here. Usually you'll find like a tab, and you just pull the tab just like that, and then you usually bang it on the counter and it opens up. Okay, and what you want to do with this one is you're going to make 4 pieces out of each biscuit. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, where's my knife? Right here. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut those into 4s. And you can really use any biscuit mix you want. But you want to just make them into like bite-sized pieces. I don't know if any of you have ever made monkey bread before or a form of monkey bread, but it's not many ingredients and it's something that's delicious. The other day we went to Pizza Sam's, and they actually have like a dessert pizza that basically has all these ingredients. Only it's a pizza crust that they use, and it's just as delicious. So if you're ever out there, I think it was like around $7, so not a huge expense. But if you were out and about and that just sounded good to you, then they actually have something similar to monkey bread that they sell. Okay, so there's all my pieces of biscuits. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to measure out my cinnamon and sugar. So for my cinnamon and sugar, I need a 1/2 cup. I don't know if you can see that, but it says there's a 1/2 right there. And I need a 1/2 cup of sugar. You know, the one thing I didn't show you that I need is a leveler. So make sure you get out a knife or something like that if you're going to do it. So you're going to scoop really into the sugar and level it off, and then just go ahead and put that in your bag. Okay. And then you need a teaspoon, I don't know if you can see that either, a teaspoon of cinnamon, So one thing about this that I do sometimes, because I don't necessarily, like my leveler right now is like gigantic, is sometimes I use the lid to kind of scrape back into the cinnamon container, and then I go ahead and put this in my bag. Yep, I made a little mess. Whoopsie. That lid slipped right out of my hands. Okay. All right. And then I'm just going to close this up, and I'm going to shake it around, mix it all up in there. If you like cinnamon and sugar toast, which I love, this is how you make cinnamon and sugar, if you didn't know that. Okay, so there they are. Awesome. Okay, so that's ready to go. Get rid of some of this garbage I have. All right. So now I'm going to cut my margarine. And I hope you can see this. When I look at it, it's all blurred out. So I'm hoping you might be able to see it better. But it will say I need 1/4 of a cup. And that's 4 tablespoons. So I count 1, 2, 3, 4. And I would cut right there on that line. If I needed 1/3 of a cup, it would be 5 1/3 tablespoons. So I would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1/3. Okay, 3/3 make a whole. And so I would have to cut this bar into thirds. And then if I needed 1/2 cup, it would be this entire stick. But the recipe just calls for 1/4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I would cut right here. Okay. And I've already cut this because I needed it to be melted before I got on camera. So I've actually do have melted butter, and I'm going to just pour it in my bowl, just because the saucepan's hot, and I wouldn't want any of you to get burned as you put your biscuit inside. So we're going to go ahead and set that aside. And then my pan, I have the wrapper from my 1/4 of a cup, so I'm just going to use that to kind of spread into my pan. Do the edging. Okay. Oops. And then I take my bag and open it up, and I'm just going to take one of the biscuits and I'm going to put it in the butter. And then I'm going to put it in my container. Okay, and you could put several in there just to kind of speed up the process. If you didn't want to touch them a lot, you could use a wooden spoon to kind of maybe rotate them around. And then you can just grab them and drop them in. Or you could use tongs if this really disturbs you terribly. But understand that my hands are clean. Okay, so I do have some in there, so I'm just going to shake them about. Okay, and then I'm going to go in. And this is what they look like. They're nice and covered. And then I'm just going to put them in my pan. And I'm just going to arrange them right now and see if I can like make a nice design all the way around. But we'll see. I mean, nothing says you couldn't double the recipe if you wanted to make a really cool design or something like that. Some people just throw them in haphazardly without any rhyme or reason. And you can do that too. Okay, so those are nice and coated, so I'm going to go ahead and put them in. And, you know, some people do like more cinnamon. To me, cinnamon's a spice, and it can overpower a lot of times what you're making. And so I would always, for myself, stick to the recipe just because it can be very overpowering. And some people don't like a lot of cinnamon. So you just got to be careful with, if you're going to serve it, you know, maybe make it to the recipe requirements, just because not everyone loves it. So you could do that. I don't know, too, if you know that you can buy frozen dough. So you could always, you know, buy that and have it defrost and do the same thing, you know. Only it was frozen and now it's not. So it depends on, you know, maybe you have something like that at your house right now and you could defrost it and put it together, making monkey bread. You know, I encourage all of you to make these things. You know, cinnamon and sugar is probably something you have at home. And maybe the biscuit mix you don't, but I know there's a dollar store around, and you know, they sell biscuit mix, I'm almost certain. So, you know, I would maybe give this a go, you know, if you like it or you think you would. So because I bought a 16-ounce container, my cinnamon sugar is running low, so I just added a little bit to it so that I could finish it out. So I'm going to go ahead and put the remaining dough in there, and then I'm going to, like I said, I keep arranging them in my pan here. And I'll show you the pan once I'm done so you guys can see it. Oops. Yeah, I think I'm still going to need a little bit more sugar. So for you guys, what you can do on your recipe is you can just say, you know, put the amounts that I did first, and then just say maybe gradually add more cinnamon sugar if needed or desired for the coating of the biscuits, because you know, my size that I did is a little bit bigger than what they recommend for the ingredients. So, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and put those in. I had some butter left over. If you ever have butter left over, you could always, you know, put it in the fridge. Make sure you cover it well, but, you know, maybe for popcorn or something that you have, you could, you know, maybe use it for that. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in, and then once I get it all done, I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. So give me 1 second. I'm almost done here. Just trying to make it look nice. I'm going to get 2 more to kind of squeeze in here. If I can get them. Okay. So let me move things out of the way so you can see it. So that's what it looks like. And I'm going to put it in a 375-degree oven for 12 to 15 minutes. And then I'm going to pull it out. It should be lightly brown. And the yield is probably about, you know, enough to feed like maybe 3 or 4, like if I cut this in half. But usually you just pick it out and eat it that way. So, but let it cool for about 3 to 4 minutes and enjoy. So in order for me to touch my computer, I have to clean up my hands a little bit because they are not good for touching a computer. Okay, so I hope that you all will try this at home. It's an easy one. And let me know how the results turned out. I'd love to hear about your experiences. Take care. Bye.